Come have a seat and sip some tea. It's tech, entertainment, and art.
Fresh Brew.
Welcome to this week's Sweet Tea, episode 4. This week we're going to have Sean looking at me like I'm the only thing left in his life. Tyler constantly confused and asking, but why? And Abdiel always sure of himself, but never too sure. He's humble. He doesn't even believe that.
You always got to have a healthy measure of skepticism towards your own person. I don't know what I'm going to do next.
I don't know what you're doing. I'm
Sometimes.
terrified. Okay, so we're just going to go straight into it. Let's start with the first topic. Sorry, I just had an aneurysm apparently. So we just watched the new trailer for Tenet. I wanted to speculate on it because I had a lot of questions watching. I know that that's the point of the trailer.
More clues.
More clues. That's exactly right. I'm really, for me, I guess the first thing I want to start off with is what are the mechanics of this going to be? Like how are you creating inversion? Like, is he going to have a button where he's able to start it? Or
Clearly
does it happen
there's
at a
tech
time?
involved.
Is there like a time that's going to happen? Or is it the gun? Like, is it he shoots the gun and then things inverse? I don't know. I'm really concerned about
What does he pull? What's in the drawer that he pulls out, right? That's something to do with it.
You think it's a machine?
There's a technical component to it, you guys. Because
Of
not
course.
anybody can do it. There has to be people who have
Yeah.
something that enhances their...
It almost seems to me like it's going to be like a Prince of Persia kind of thing. I know probably Josh knows what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
That was a video game where you it's kind of like a platformer like Mario, but if you jump the incorrect way, you press a button and it rewinds, and now you can go through the challenge again. So I kind of saw that where maybe when something goes wrong, they'll rewind a little bit, or they'll rewind something specifically, like he gets his gun knocked out of his hand and he can rewind that moment, not the entire thing, but just that one. Maybe they can like specify single items that are, or objects I should say, that are returning time conveniently.
Okay.
But it's not that easy. It's not gonna be that easy. I'm telling you guys. It's not gonna be. Not everyone's gonna be doing this willy-nilly in the Tenet universe. You know, it's gonna be a strict system.
Do you think it's going to be easy to understand what's happening?
Apparently
Sometimes
none of the actors knew what was happening, and they had the script.
Yeah, I kind of get that vibe that we're not really gonna understand exactly how inversion works, and that I don't like that.
That worries me.
That
That's what I'm curious about, is that even though what was the one about the dreams? How did I forget the name? I always forget
Inception.
name of stuff.
Inversion?
Even though Inversion. Even though Inception like left it open-ended, it did explain enough, and there was a certain mechanic to it that made it feel like, oh, this is based in some sort of reality. Like I can follow this along. It's not like a Doctor Who episode.
Okay, but remember in Inception, you didn't really understand what was happening in the opening scene where they try to steal a secret from the rich Asian guy's head.
Yeah.
And then they introduced Ellen Page's character, and so because she's in the point of view of the audience that's totally new, Cobb has to like explain everything to her, and he uses pictures to try to like simplify it and everything like that. And that was all helpful for the audience, but it's basically exposition that brings you up to like enough of a level of understanding what the point of the movie is. And I think there's some of that in. I think maybe they didn't use as much exposition in like Prestige to explain what was happening. You just kind of had to pick up clues along the way, and then there was kind of a big reveal. But I think Interstellar was kind of the same way, explaining what's the mind-bending properties of what's happening in the movie. So based on Christopher Nolan past, maybe there's going to be a bunch of exposition by someone's character to like the main character or something.
Like 30 minutes in, you just start to understand.
Yeah.
So I have a question for you guys. What do you? We've only seen like I don't know. All in all, a minute and a half of acting from Denzel Washington's son, who apparently, I'm looking at like Wikipedia, he played football.
NFL, yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know that for 4 years. But anyway, so do you feel like he's gonna be able to carry the movie?
I think so.
Man, you guys are so
I
confident.
have not been that impressed from the minute and a half that we've seen of his acting, but I think so. You know, I think he has a beard, which helps with the facial expressions. You know.
When he said, when he was, I can't remember who he was talking to. He was like, "We'll just try to keep up." I know that's like a cheesy line, but the way he said it
sounded
reminded me
like
of Denzel
Denzel.
a little bit.
Yes.
It was just the way he said. It wasn't like his voice, but it was the inflection, and it made me feel a little bit warmer inside, knowing that we have a little Denzel.
You think? Here's a question from me to you guys. Do you
Okay.
think that Denzel is coaching him during this period of his life?
I asked my
he's giving him
dad-
acting
I-
classes.
I asked my dad how to build my bathroom, so I mean, I imagine he
Yeah.
asked his dad.
Do you think he's just calling his dad in between takes and being like, "Hey, Dad, so this is my line. How would you deliver it? Let me just FaceTime you real quick. Let me see that. Oh, okay. Huh. Wow. I didn't really see it that way. Okay, you like your eyebrow. I like what you did with your eyebrow there a little bit. Okay." And then he goes and does it.
Like he's so unsure of himself, he needs a constant injection of his dad just to give him some pointers.
Constantly.
Just a straight
constantly.
IV to him at all times. In fact, his dad isn't there, but he's on a video camera. He's on a webcam and he's zooming the whole time. In fact, the whole time he's acting, there's actually not a person there. They had to CGI the people in. It's just a TV on a stand, and it's Denzel there coaching him
Could
the whole
could
time.
be.
the whole time.
I do like the aesthetics of the movie a lot, and I like how the main character fits in the movie. That's something that's important to me. Like when I look at characters, I almost look at them from a video game standpoint. Like everything is it's on purpose when you have a video game character. You know, nothing's an accident. So I like to look at that. Some movies you can see that they really pay attention to all the little details of the characters and stuff like that. So I like the aesthetics of that character and how everything looks. So looking forward to that.
So one last question on my end. Do you guys think that Christopher Nolan should just acquiesce to the virus and allow us to stream this movie already on Amazon, or should we just full forward IMAX? It has to be IMAX with full seats, everybody inside there, or what?
Would I like to watch it at home? Of course. Will he, in a million years, ever allow that to be streamed first before IMAX? Absolutely not.
Yeah, that's
That's not
been
even
a-
one of his options from his point of view.
Yeah, that he's talked about that in the past, and he's very serious about that. So I think so. Now, if you go to see it in a movie theater, you're not gonna have to watch it on a packed movie theater because they're not gonna allow that. And movie theaters themselves are not gonna do that.
Right.
They're gonna have social distancing in place of movie theaters, so they're gonna be run at a reduced capacity. I'm probably gonna go to the theaters if they have it on the theaters. I would like to.
Yeah. Because all of his stuff is so cinematic. It's kind of about the epicness of it, too, that makes it feel good. And I know that the theaters are going to be closed down a lot, and so this probably isn't a possibility. But since Star Wars Episode 7 came out, I always wondered, is there some way for something to top that first weekend box office? In the current situation, I don't think that there is, but if you imagine a scenario where we haven't been able to have a new movie played in theaters for 6 months, 7 months, 8 months, who knows by the time, and then you have a new movie by Chris Nolan that comes out, I mean, that definitely has, you could see some serious potential for money making, like on that first weekend. I don't know.
But they would be limited by the amount of people they could let in.
Yeah. I mean,
Did you know that in the last few weeks, when they've been replaying popular movies in theaters, and it all counts toward the, I mean, there's a significant amount of
office.
people going and watching movies to where they're like, wow, this movie made, $50,000 in a weekend or something like that, But a large share of the profits has been from drive-in theaters.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
That's never been the case ever. Drive-ins are only a small fraction of like all the theaters nationwide, but they're actually like a majority of the sales are coming from drive-in theaters because those you can pack out. You're staying
Yeah,
in
that
a
makes
car.
sense.
You're not
That makes sense to me.
getting a virus in someone else's car. So, but that's not a good sign, obviously, because there's so few drive-in theaters compared to the total, amount. So
Yeah.
it's not going to do great, but props to him for trying.
Yeah, he's sticking with it. Even if all the theaters fail after it comes out, there's no such thing anymore. It's
Yeah.
going to be there.
Last thing for AMC, just go out on a high.
Go out on the high. Actually, Tyler, speaking about that goes on to our next topic. The top earner in the box office for this week. Do you guys know this?
I think I have an idea.
I want you all to guess. You each get one guess. What classic film do you think is the top box office earner for this week?
Let me go last.
Okay.
Casablanca.
Casablanca? Okay. Sean?
Star Wars?
Star Wars. Which one?
Episode 1?
Episode 1?
Or episode
Empire-
3? Sorry, episode
Empire
4?
Strikes Back, buddy.
4.
Episode 4. Episode A New Hope.
Tyler,
5.
what was yours? 5? It's actually Star Wars Episode 5. It's after the earnings this week, it's made like $250.8 million domestically, I think.
Wow.
It's-
What?
No,
Wait,
no,
total
total. Yeah. No, it did not make that much.
Oh.
I can't actually find the numbers of how much it made this weekend. You'll have to look it up. But
Wait,
yeah,
isn't
it was
that what we're talking about?
episode 5 was the top box office earner this week.
Yeah,
which
that's
I
pretty
thought
good.
was really
I
good.
almost went with that one, but I was like, you know what? Movie theaters can be a little nostalgic and just go back to the original. And
Yeah. Yeah, I would have thought it was Jurassic Park or like Jaws or something. Just give it to Spielberg. But no, it was episode 5, which they're actually showing at our local. Oh, my wife's here. She said it made $210,000 this weekend.
That's
Yeah,
pretty
for
good.
a total run recently of between 400 and 500,000.
Yeah. I mean,
Wow.
that's a lot for a movie that came out 40 something years ago. They're showing at our local drive-in, and there's a ton of people there. I wanted to go see it, but it's just like 120 degrees outside. It's just too hot. I couldn't do it.
Tornadoes.
I really
just
wanted to.
ripping up the.
Tornadoes ripping people up, and they're just watching Star Wars. Yeah, it's all good. No, I thought that was fun. That's some good news, Bring it back. Okay, this one's for Abdiel. Spider-Man Miles Morales PS5 trailer. What did you guys think about it? Abs, you can start out and give us some stuff to talk
Yeah,
about.
so from the very beginning, we have the trailer opens with Miles Morales holding something, and like it focuses on his hands and then his forearms, and his suit is like coming apart until the camera gets to his face. It's a very a video game reveal trailer. If you've been following video games as long as I've been following it, it was built for hype. It was built for people to not know what was going on and then see Miles Morales' face and be like, oh, whoa, so that's what this is about. So I mean, I really don't have an opinion on that. I guess that's just something that I noticed. The music for the trailer was really good. The animation it was really good. So this is a video game, so you're gonna be playing it for the most part. So the animation and the animatics and the cutscenes, as we call them, that's not gonna be the bulk of the experience, right? But it definitely seems that it has that quality that is gonna have a really good story. The original game that came out, that this is kind of in the same universe, but the Marvel Spider-Man that came out for PlayStation 4 a while ago had a really solid story that actually like moved me, and that's very rare in video games. Most video game stories don't really hit you that way. So anyway, so yeah, it was like a perfect trailer to get you hyped and ready for the game.
When his aunt's boss was like a bad guy, I almost cried.
What?
You don't remember?
I love that.
What was that?
You don't remember Aunt May's boss was like this one of the bad guys?
Oh yeah, he's the Mr. Negative.
Yeah, Mr. Negative. Yeah, that
Yeah.
that was touching. That
Yeah.
hit me where I live. So
Yeah, yeah.
soulful.
Mhm.
And PS5 news in general. Did you see the live stream, Abs?
I did, yeah.
That
saw it.
trailer was perfectly built, like you said, for hype. The whole thing was just hype. That's all they did.
Mhm.
And
The
and
music
I
and
was
everything, yeah.
I work at a hospital. I was sitting there in an operating room replacing some thermostats, and I was feeling hyped. It's a hard time to feel hyped in an operating room, but I was hyped. It was good. I was super excited.
That could have been
I'm
laughing
still
gas.
excited. It could have been the gas. It could have been a lot of things. But I think it was the fact that I had that playing in the background. Anyway, Sean, do you have any thoughts on this? PS5 news in general? Spider-Man Miles Morales?
Well, I was watching a behind the scenes, I guess, and they were kind of talking about how the haptic feedback, am I saying that
Haptic.
well enough?
Haptic feedback,
Haptic
yeah.
feedback is going to play heavily in gameplay.
For this game?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
So, yeah, I don't know. But it's kind of interesting. I'm looking forward to seeing where the story goes. I like the Miles Morales character. I wish they would make him older. I want like an older Miles Morales. I want like a Miles Morales who's like a black Puerto Rican man, very elegant, very like suave, and like he's older, he's married or whatever, and you know he enjoys his fine wine, but he's saves people and you know like I don't know. I want like this very elegant like Miles Morales.
That's interesting.
And I don't think I'll ever get it, but you know I'll settle
But, you
for
know,
him as a teenager, I guess.
As you explained that, that kind of makes some sense to me because Spider-Man, it's about a superhero that's very that he's alter ego. He's not the superhero persona, but he's real person. He's supposed to be a very normal person. Peter Parker's supposed to be very normal. That's his whole thing. He pays rent like everybody else. He doesn't live in a mansion. He has relationship problems. He has financial problems. He's just like a normal person that's a superhero. And so that makes sense to me to have Miles Morales be like a normal black Puerto Rican man. Just, you know, maybe he's like a janitor or something, or maybe he's a school teacher. Maybe that's not a janitor. Maybe a school teacher. And but he's also a superhero. That would be pretty fun.
Yeah, I want him to be like very like. I don't want him to be like, I don't know. Peter Parker never was able to get his life together. It was always a mess. And I'm sick of the father-son thing. Like, you know, Miles Morales and his dad, like hopefully they work it out at some point, but just do a time jump. Time jump it out, and then like he's already established, and then introduce something that like ruins his stability. I feel like that would be kind of an interesting take on it, but
yeah.
There's still some father-son trauma, I feel like. But you'd have to play the first one to see that.
Yeah.
Sounds like you want Iron Man or Batman. Someone who's suave and has their life together and
Likes wine.
yeah, because they can afford it.
But he did mention that he wanted him to be married and like be settled down a little bit.
yeah.
3 little kids.
so Fantastic Four.
My favorite part is that he enjoys his fine wine.
He has a membership at a local winery.
Where does a black Puerto Rican man get fine wine from? Like, where is his wine of choice?
Or maybe it's not. Maybe he's a small batch bourbon kind of guy. You know, whatever.
he has a Venmo account.
It's 20% of the game is searching
let's
for
ground
him.
him. Let's
Buy
ground
one-
him into reality.
Buy one get one 5 cent off.
He goes to Venmo.
Oh man.
That would be great. I'm telling you, that game would sell. Or that comic book would sell.
Just scanning labels, and he can't get any Wi-Fi, so he doesn't know if it's good or not. Is this good wine? Let me check. Oh, these metal roofs.
Well, I tell you one thing that it reminded me of is that after the whole first opening cinematic of his armor coming off of his arm, the next shot is him jumping kind of upward in the cityscape.
Yeah.
And that reminds me, the first experience I had something like that, where I got to do that, was in the 2002 Spider-Man game. that was on like
totally
PS2, Xbox, GameCube.
Still a
And-
classic.
You know,
Classic.
open world games were not super common by that point, and so the limited ability you had to like jump and spin
And
webs
swing
and stuff
around.
all around the city was really cool. And so it
Yeah.
reminded me of that, and for that reason, it was like maybe they were shooting for that nostalgia by showing that.
Yeah, absolutely. This Spider-Man game, not Miles Morales, but the one made before. But the Miles Morales is using the same engine as the one that came out before that one.
Yeah.
But that one, they call it Marvel's Spider-Man for PS4. It was made with 2002 in mind. It's almost like a spiritual successor to that Spider-Man from 2002, which is the one that lives in the memory of all the gamers that play that game. So yeah, so definitely, I totally see what you're saying when they're going for that kind of feel. Absolutely, you're right.
It'd be cool. Maybe someday I'll get a PS5,
Maybe.
Yeah.
but I'm
Maybe.
not gonna count on it.
I'll mail you my PS4, bro. I'll mail you my PS4 with Spider-Man when
Got
I get my PS4.
Do you have
problem.
Horizon Zero Dawn too?
I do, yeah.
You need
I
to
got
send me that
all the
too.
goodies, bro.
Those are the best. And Forbidden West. God, that's gonna be amazing. I'm so excited. I think Zero Dawn was my favorite game on the PS4.
You know, I didn't like the gameplay that much.
What? Did you
I
like
like the gameplay.
Breath of the Wild?
I like the world though and the story. Huh?
Do you like good things?
Did you like Breath of the Wild?
I did. I also didn't like the gameplay that much.
Oh,
Well, no, the Breath of the Wild I liked a little bit more because that was the kind of game where if you can think it, you can do it, and you're always surprised at the things that you can do. Because the sandbox of the game just works perfectly. Like in that game, just for you guys, Sean and Tyler are like totally lost. In that game, like you can cook, but you can also like make a fire. So you can make a fire beneath an apple tree, and the apples will cook. Like everything just works with each other, and everything interacts with each other, I should say. So you are encouraged to try different things like in the game that make you feel like you've solved the puzzle, when in reality you're just playing with all the different elements in the game. Like you can burn a patch of grass and it'll create like a wind burst. The fire will create a wind burst, and so you can jump over it and open your parachute, and you'll like jump into the air, and it's all like not real stuff happening, but it's stuff that once you learn all the different mechanics, you can work back from each other. But anyway, we're going into a tangent here. Fun stuff.
it's okay. I want you to tangent. That's the fun part. Are we good? You guys done with that? I didn't want to move on without Abiel getting his thoughts out.
Spider-Man.
I'm good. I'm good.
Spider-Man. There's not a lot to say. I mean, we don't have a lot to go on yet, but
No,
we'll get
yeah, we
more,
don't.
and it'll be exciting. Real quick
Would.
too, Abs. You saw that they had that demo for the really good graphics on the PS5. You remember that? Before
Yeah, the Unreal Engine 5
yeah,
demo.
the Unreal. Were you impressed with that? Was that impressive?
That was absolutely impressive.
Okay.
Were you not impressed?
I guess.
Are
Like
you not entertained?
Are you not entertained? the graphics are good, but I guess I'm still looking for like a hard lines world. Like still when she runs, it doesn't look like she's running up steps. Or when she's climbing, it doesn't look like she's really grabbing rocks. I guess that's where my imagination fails me a little bit, and where I want to see some serious advancements. Because I don't want to see Hera flying through the shoulders and stuff. I want it to be realistic a little bit. And
Yeah.
so the graphics are good, but I guess it's probably the physics part is where I want to see more advancement.
Yeah, you know what was interesting about that game and about that demo was, of course, the graphics, but you know, it's the amount of polygons that you're seeing,
Right.
that you don't not even aware. You're seeing, you know, trillions of polygons being like rendered in front of you, and every little rock is like right there. And then there's that part where like she looks at this like rock, how do you call that, rock formation, and like all the little rocks fall and all that good stuff. So that was really impressive. But at the same time, And then the lighting in the game, the way that the light bounces from surfaces, it's just on a whole another level. They have this thing called ray tracing, which is basically means it's a way of rendering light, and that is more realistic. That light works like it works in real life. And there's a lot that you take for granted about how light works, like how it bounces and the kind of reflections that it creates and. Reflections is what I'm saying. What?
Yeah. I take it for granted every day.
Yeah, you take it for granted. We take
How light
light for
bounces.
granted, but
Yeah.
but not when you are, not when you are a 3D designer. And yeah, so, it was a demo, so that means that they're not really working that much into it because it's just meant to show off how much. It's just meant to show off the horsepower
Yeah.
of their graphics card and
Just
their
gonna
SSD.
put it on the shelf. Be like, maybe that'll be useful someday. You know.
Yeah.
Okay.
But just so you know that Sony. This is big news. Sony recently bought minor stakes into Epic Games, the creators of Unreal Engine 5, and they're gonna be collaborating and working with Epic now to develop Unreal Engine, which is the most used video game engine in the world right now. So that's big because Epic is one of the biggest video game companies in the world. They have their own marketplace on computers. They're owned by China, all that good stuff.
It sounds
So-
big.
And lastly, Abdiel, how do you feel about of course, the console wars are starting. Where does Xbox stand against PS5 for you?
As of right now, Xbox is really behind the race. Xbox had a video games reveal at one point, and there was a lot of controversy behind it because they said it was going to be gameplay reveal, but there wasn't any gameplay, so that was one problem. Everything they showed looked like garbage, almost everything, except the big guns that they brought in that are going to come out for the PS5 as well. So there was like nothing exclusive that was nice for them.
Yeah, the exclusives on PS5 are blowing Microsoft out of the water, and that's exactly what they did with the PS4. I think we're learning that the race is less about tech because the Xbox is way more powerful, but there's no reason to have it at that point because you can't play any games you want to play there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I've been recently playing. I bought a new computer that is like super pumped, state of the art. I bought it with Asus Strix RTX GeForce. It's a GeForce, GeForce RTX
GeForce
2080 Super.
Yeah, that's a good one. That's the best one, I think.
So we're talking about an $800 graphics card.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
You got like an
Just dropping
i3 in there in the $800 graphics card.
An i3? No, I have a 10th generation i7.
Oh, beautiful.
Yeah.
You should have
So,
gone.
but anyway, and then I have an SSD. So I've been playing on it, and man, like playing with no loadings changed my life. Like it's a completely different way of playing games, and the SSD from the PS5 is actually much faster than regular SSDs that come with computers. So I can only imagine how seamless that experience is going to be on the PS5.
Yeah, they
and I've been
created
playing
their
on the PS. Mhm.
they created their own SSD, right? Sony created
yeah.
their own proprietary SSD for the PS5. That was pretty.
That
pretty cool.
is gonna prioritize loading in a different way. So not only is it loading really fast, but it prioritizes loading in such a way that it benefits games, and it focuses on games. So loadings are even faster because the stuff that gets what it does is like all this stuff that the player is gonna see right now, prioritize that, load it right now, and then the stuff that's like really far away that the player doesn't need to see that much, load that later. So not only are you have lightning fast transfer speeds for loadings, right? But you're also having this thing that is smart. It's making these decisions, right, and smartly deciding what's going to be rendered first. So it's supposed to be like on a whole nother level. The guys from Epic, from Unreal Engine, they said that it was better than anything on any SSD on PC right now. And they're used to developing on PC. So I mean, of course, it might be all marketing because now they're part of Sony as well, right?
Right.
Bias.
But yeah. So anyway, so it's cool stuff. It's exciting things because I've been playing on the PS4 for a while, and let me tell you, Loadings they've just ruined games on the PS4. When I send you that PS4, Tyler, get ready to play for an hour, and that hour, like 5 minutes, are just gonna be in loading screens. Because how big games have become. Games are like 50 gigabytes right now. Spider-Man, the Spider-Man game, that's like 50 gigabytes big. How are you gonna load all those graphics on a crappy hard drive disc from 1995?
Is it still a hard drive or SSD now?
No, on the PS4, it's a hard drive. It's not an SSD, bro.
Wah, wah.
Yeah, but anyway, it still works, right? It's still a console that 100 million people have and play on it with a hard drive disc, and they play on it right now. There's no PS5 as of right now, so I mean, it's not impossible, but it gets annoying to have to wait like 30 seconds on a loading screen, or a minute sometimes. It's crazy.
How big is the hard drive on yours?
Huh?
How big is the hard drive on yours?
It's 1 terabyte.
Can you replace it with like a SSD?
With an SSD, you can, yeah.
And free format it and everything?
Yeah, you can. So that might be something that you want to look into it. But the problem is that the loadings will improve a little bit, not entirely, because the games are... it's almost like the games are programmed to load at a certain speed. It's kind of weird. I don't understand the architecture very well. It's not a... it's the programming works in a certain way that even if you have something that can load really fast, the game is like, oh, don't worry about it. Don't load me that fast because who cares? I'm from an old... But I checked on YouTube's because I was thinking about it, and I checked on YouTube, and we're like, yeah, if you get an SSD for the PS4, it will improve, but it's not going to be like on PC or PS5. You're still going to have to wait a decent amount for the loadings. So maybe from 30 seconds, it goes down to maybe like 15 seconds or maybe 20 seconds, but they're not going away entirely.
Yeah, and at the price of what a 1 terabyte SSD is right now, it's not quite.
That's not worth it.
Ballpark.
Yeah.
Definitely not. Okay. That's good. We got all that in. I was thinking the way it loads the video game is a lot like how I clean my house. Like if somebody's coming over, I'm like, whatever they're gonna see, we're gonna clean it. But then somebody's like, oh, I gotta go to the bathroom. I'm like, okay, you gotta give me like 5 minutes. I gotta go clean that if you're gonna see that. Yeah, I didn't know you wanted to use the bathroom.
Yes,
and
right.
now it's your fault that you're gonna have to wait because you should tell me earlier. So
that's right. Yeah. That's how the SSD works.
Just like that. Beautiful. Okay, so the last thing we want to talk about, I don't know if you guys want to talk about it, but I'm curious, is Star Trek Lower Decks. The trailer was terrible. The trailer is terrible.
Absolutely, dude. I was just going to say.
It's bad. I feel like they're going for the Rick and Morty audience. Yep. But let me read you some of these tweets from TNG Season 8. This is the writer for the show. This guy got the show because of his hilarious tweets of what would be the proverbial Season 8 of TNG. They're comedic, of course. So let's go over some of these. Season 8, episode whatever. Geordi and Data nurse a space bird back to health, and they are sad when they have to release it. Also, Picard is trapped in a turbolift with a baby. So that would be one episode, for example, 47 minutes. The warp core needs to be shut down because it's full of ants. Picard and Dr. Crusher engage in a very sexy 47-minute staring contest. Let's see.
What is this supposed to be?
This is what he started a comedic Twitter account called Star Trek The Next Generation Season 8, which there's only 7 seasons. So these are like pitches or ideas for what the next season could have in episodes, like what an episode would be.
So someone saw the tweets and hired him based on his tweets?
I don't know what his prior credentials are. I know that was a big part of it because these are massive. People love these. These are well known. Data and Geordi build an amazing pillow
People
fort.
know that Twitter account, okay, Sean? People know that Twitter account.
People know it's good.
That Twitter account gets around, okay?
Worf brags about his new ceremonial knife for a week, then must prove his innocence after a mysterious stabbing. Meanwhile, Riker does 150 push-ups. These are the kind of ideas that you're going to see in the show. Are you interested?
They keep
Can't say
saying,
that I
I'm
am.
looking at some of these tweets now. There's a lot of Data and Jordy stuff.
They're like two children. It's hilarious.
I think but it's like you could interchange Troy and Abed in that.
Yeah,
really
it's
easily.
very true. I never thought about that. That's so true. Picard's poems start to come to life and seize the ship. Meanwhile, Data's new obsession with his ventriloquist dummy is starting to affect his work.
That's pretty funny. I would
There's-
like that one.
There's a really funny one here about Riker. It was true.
But it's not based in any of the characters we know, right? Like it's not.
No, this is like the premise is that these are like lower deck ensigns and like what they do the day to day, because you always see the upper crew members.
Right.
Picard wrestles with the ethical ramifications of altering a murderer's memories. Also, someone pooped on the holodeck and now it's ruined.
You know, one thing that shows like this make me feel now that we're in the era of streaming. You know, one thing that directors and writers like about streaming is that they can apparently, you know, they talk about they can be more more free to write whatever they want to write. That's one of the things that they like.
Right.
But I'm like, I never thought that we would get to the point, and I never thought about it because I guess I was short-sighted. But that we would get to this point where it's like, oh yeah, you know, the limits that you had before, they were actually pretty good because your ideas kind of suck.
Yeah.
You should have an executive producer being like, yeah, that's not gonna sell when we try to sell it to a TV station, so we're gonna shut that idea down.
Yeah.
Okay. But now because they make money on it anyway, because it's on the streaming service and they, you know, that's how the streaming services work. We're kind of seeing some crap, you know, some stuff that's not that good. Excuse my French.
These are
We have not seen like a
Josh.
single good Netflix movie since the dawn of Netflix. Not one.
I'm trying to think. I feel like I've seen one.
Bro, it doesn't exist. It was a dream.
There's some good documentaries.
Yeah, there are good documentaries.
Yeah, well, I don't by Netflix?
Yeah.
Well, they're good shows. Netflix has good shows.
Yeah, they've got
sure.
good shows. But you're right. I don't think I
Uh,
can't think of a good movie from Netflix.
But the streaming service is not perfect. Is what I'm saying. We thought it was gonna be perfect. It's not. And I hope Disney though. This is coming out of the left field. I hope Disney is looking at what's happening because I don't want any crap from Disney. Okay.
What do you mean? Like
Disney better step up.
If minus the Mandalorian from Disney, it's one musical away from like failing. Like there's nothing on Disney Plus that is like like even the documentaries on Disney Plus is like they're terribly shot. There's a documentary on Big Sur, and I was watching it, and like I don't know what cameras they were using. I don't know what.
But that
Didn't it
was
win
the
awards,
National
too?
Geographic, right? That wasn't necessarily Disney's. That was like National Geographic.
No. But Sean is right. Disney stuff has been trash. But so let me
Lady
let
and the
me start.
Tramp, dude. That was
So
Target
Disney-
audience. Target audience.
Disney, the Star Wars and the Marvel part of Disney is really what I'm talking about. So Lucasfilm and Marvel Studios,
right.
you guys better step up. Forget about Disney. Already failed. They failed me already, like Sean just said. But Star Wars and Marvel, their shows and their stuff and their movies better be good. They better not be hiring those directors that are like, you know, I can be so free now with all, we don't need any money because I don't need to sell tickets. It's a streaming service. No, you better make something good.
Well, the thing with Disney is that anything that's purely Disney label is made for families. It's made for parents or parent. You know, I'm not going to presume, you know, it has to be the whole family. But there's kids involved. Kids, teenagers is like their target. And every parent in the country is going to sign up for a subscription for their family. Great. That gets Disney money. But they also are trying to make money off of the young adults, older adults with, you know, science fiction, action, adventure. And so, yeah, that's totally where Marvel and Star Wars camps have to step up. And they've made so many plans to do so, but there's such a huge gap between Mandalorian and everything else they've been planning for the streaming service.
Season 7 wasn't bad of the Clone Wars.
It was like it's a small thing that has a definitive ending though. They
Oh,
promised
you mean
a half
like a
season.
new property or trying to bring something in new?
Yeah, like all of the Marvel shows, all of the Star Wars shows, everything that's coming later on. It's like there's Mandalorian 1, and we're going to see Mandalorian Season 2 a full year later before anything else comes out. Because they still haven't finished shooting, the rest of the episodes for the Marvel shows because the pandemic set everything back. So it's like one of those things where they're hoping that the people that they want to get to keep buying Disney Plus subscription, they're hoping that they hold on for like 2 years, hold on to that monthly subscription, just waiting for the thing they want.
Make it worth it for them.
Anybody could drop the subscription, come back later. Realistically.
God, Sean.
Not me. I got the whole year.
They're just one musical away from failing. That is so rude.
Yeah.
So true, though. Yeah, they had the Artemis Fowl movie come out, and that was terrible.
To no fanfare whatsoever.
Oh my gosh. I guess everyone likes Hamilton, but that's just another musical.
And then they paid a ridiculous amount of money to get that. They're like, oh,
Yeah,
we're
my wife and I
now.
were speculating. My wife and I were speculating about it. Do we know how much that deal was, or is it?
I thought it was
It's probably
150 million.
Wow.
Or was it
Well,
50 million?
whoa.
I'm trying to remember.
That's how much Netflix paid for Friends. But we're talking about like 100 hours worth of episodes with Friends, right? So
They're losing
makes
The
sense.
Office, too, so they needed something, right?
But for 2 hours, they paid 100 million.
75 million. I stand
Oh,
corrected.
75 million.
Oh,
That's
well,
still a lot.
that's a
75
steal.
million. Wow. That's still a lot.
Did any of you guys see Sonic the Hedgehog, the movie?
No,
I did. My wife and I did.
I really enjoyed that movie.
I did. We really enjoyed it too.
It was such a fun, clean, nice adventure,
Yeah.
and I grew up with Sonic. Gotta love Sonic. It was just so cool to see him on the screen, and you got Jim Carrey. He's having fun. And it was great. Love that movie. That was a fun time.
I thought it was really entertaining.
That was a good one.
Okay,
The
how about we better?
Yeah.
Well, no.
The last thing.
Okay.
I listened to you and
Yeesh.
Sean talk about your podcast, or on their podcast, talking about the producer of Downton Abbey. I was curious. You guys have watched Downton Abbey. You and
If you
Sean.
watched it,
Yeah,
If we watched it, I've watched it. Yeah.
you've watched it.
I watched part of it.
Okay. 2011, when this thing came out, my mom was super into it. I swore it off. I was like, this is this is dumb.
That's what I thought.
This is stupid, girl stuff, or really effeminate men like this. Like, I'm a manly man. I don't want to like this. No. I turn on an episode. I was like, they talk about it. I'll see what it's about. It's, I'm in season 2, episode 6. It's been 36 hours since I started watching it.
Oh wow, you got deep.
That's a binge, my friends.
Wow.
That's a life-altering binge.
Yeah. Yeah, it's good, man. It's good.
I enjoy it. I don't know why. Like, well, okay, first of all, I have to agree. The writer is really good at dialogue. Super, super good dialogue, the whole thing. The grandma, like, she's gonna be annoying. You're like, oh, this is gonna be an annoying character. She comes out with some hilarious quips, and you kind of like her. Like, she's kind of endearing, even though she's like hard to get along with, which is really good writing. She makes really good villains. Like, these two characters are considered villains. They keep coming back, and you're like, it's not too much. Like, you hate them just enough, which is a part on the actors. Good acting. I don't know. It's pretty good, and a lot of the gory details and the stuff that kind of makes you miserable about watching like a war film, maybe, like, they skip all that and you just go straight to the drama, straight to the feelings, straight to the people. I don't know, it's very well character driven. I enjoyed it.
You right in the feels, huh?
Right in the feels, lots of feels.
You have to watch the English game.
Don't be afraid
Yeah.
of them feels.
After.
I want to get on that next. Let's enjoy it. Okay, so that's it. Thanks for joining us for Sweet Tea episode 4. Sorry there's not a ton of movie news right now because movie theaters are currently all trying to figure out how they can keep going through coronavirus, which they all think they're going to be out of work. And Chris Nolan is just throwing his money at it, hoping that he can get his stuff out. And Abdiel's just sitting here spending thousands of dollars on computers and Wacom tablets and just living his best life ever.
Yeah, I could have been throwing all that money to the theaters if they were open.
Yeah. Oh, that's sad. They all just got so sad.
I think I have not canceled my Cinemark subscription though, so I think I've been giving them $10 every month.
Oh, that's a bad taste in my mouth. Tyler looks super deep in thought. What is this, Tyler?
No, I was just looking at IMDb is featuring some movie called Tesla that apparently came out in January, but I haven't heard of it until just now, until IMDb told me to look at it. So I'm like, it's probably not good. Ethan Hawke is Nikola Tesla.
Nikola Tesla. Oh, maybe. Oh, I also watched a pretty okay B movie on Netflix called Sweetheart. I recommend everyone watch it. It's a fun little monster movie. I love a fun little monster movie every once in a while. Okay, so this is us sign off. I'm Charles.
Okay, my dudes.
I'm Smithicus, and I'm rewatching Fringe.
Hey, how are you watching Fringe? How are you doing that?
It's on the free IMDb channel on Amazon. You don't need the paid plan for it. It just comes with
ads, right?
Commercials.
Yeah.
On Amazon.
Yeah.
Check it out.
Okay, guys.
Right.
This was fun. See you later.
Dudes.
Bye.
This has been Fresh Brew, a Tea Talk Plus podcast hosted and written by Josh. Tea Talk Plus Fresh Brew is a product of Tea Talk Productions. If you like what you heard, like and subscribe, and please consider supporting the show on Patreon. Link is in the description below. For questions, corrections, requests, and ideas, please email us at teatalkproductions@gmail.com. You can also use the DM service on Patreon or the YouTube comment section. We're available on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Google Play Music, SoundCloud, YouTube, and Patreon. Thank you and goodbye.
Come have a seat and sip some tea.